Go to votejim.net. Vote for me, best Las Vegas.
From fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Pod Therapy. Real people, real problems, and real therapists. You can submit your questions anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. We've officially entered the fall season, and you know what that means. The return of pumpkin spice pod therapy.
Yeah.
And now broadcasting from the churn, that guy's Dr. Jim Jobin. I'm Nick Tanchman. It's time for some pod therapy.
I love those signs that are like pumpkin spice oil change.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very effective. I have not had a pumpkin spice. It's still 100-something degrees to us. Obviously, when you guys are hearing this, it's deeper in September. Right now, it is, I think today is like 100.
Yeah, still pretty warm.
Still pretty hot out there.
We
We had a couple of good ones.
That's
and then
96.
that's actually pretty decent.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's been nice the last few days.
I went to a restaurant for the first time since February, since the COVID thing.
Yeah, what'd you get at Arby's?
They do have the meats, so there's only one thing. I went to Sammy's Wood-Fired Pizza
Yeah,
because they had
love that.
patio seating.
It's good.
And it was good. I got a chef salad. It was really, really tasty. And I got a mojito. That was nice.
Okay.
But the first time that I actually was I was on the patio.
Yeah.
But my God, the service was terrible. Oh, my goodness.
Really?
Oh, Lord. I was waiting like probably 25, 30 minutes, like between anything. Like, it's like, oh, can I get a water? 25, 30 minutes later. Can I get a kid's menu? 25, 30 minutes later. Like, literally, my family left, got dessert somewhere else, and came back while I was waiting for the person to come back so that I could order dessert.
Wow.
Yeah, and pay the bill. So it was bad. It was really bad service. But that also, I kind of am not angry about it because that happens, I think, when you're on the patio, and that always seems to happen to me. Like, if I'm on a patio, you just get forgotten, unless it's like a really busy patio. But, like, you're the only people out there because there's 50% capacity. But then that frustrates me because I'm like, okay, there's only 50% capacity in there. Like, how are you forgetting about me? Like, I'm an important part of your day right now because there's not a whole lot of other things.
That doesn't mean that they've got still 100% of the servers.
Good point. All right, touche. Also, man, it really makes you feel for the restaurants. I mean, these places are at best getting 50% of their income.
Yeah.
By law. You know, they can't do better than that. And there's only so much overhead they can cut. You know, like these huge facilities are built to make the money, you know. So tough out there. But yeah, I'm exploring the world and
Good.
Still running for Best of Las Vegas. Everybody, this
When
is
is
still
this
in
over?
This
I'm
will
so
be the
tired of
last
hearing about it.
episode.
Can't be soon enough.
Vote for
Exactly.
me. Vote for me and finish it out. Go to votejim.net on every device, every day. This, when you're hearing this, there will be very little amounts of time left before the end of September. So,
But September, then it's
it's over in September, and then October 1 we find out who the winner is. So, it's exciting times.
I think we've all lost.
We definitely haven't won.
There are
Yeah.
no winners. Go to votejim.net. Vote for me every day, every device. Don't forget to vote for me for Best of Las Vegas because we don't want those other people to win it. You don't even know those people.
I know a lot of them.
I had one person tweet me. This was, if you're hearing this, we taped this episode September 13th, so lots of things probably happened. But somebody tweeted me and said, "All right, Jim, I will vote for you as long as you agree to, if you win, just say thank you once and then go on and never talk about it again." I was like, no can do.
I don't need your vote.
I don't need your vote. No, I can't make that kind of commitment. If I win, we all know I'm buying a trophy. There will be a parade. I may buy a float. I may buy a billboard.
Oh my God.
Congratulations to Jim from
I
Jim.
think if you win,
Yes.
you should say thank you to everyone who voted for you.
Yes.
By allowing at least one person who voted for you
Yes.
to choose what bumper sticker to put on your car.
Oh. I wish there was a way to confirm
The
who voted.
return of the bumper sticker
Yes.
challenge.
Oh my God. You know what? You're right. And sadly, this episode comes out the very last week of September. But you know what? I'm going to push hard for those votes at the end of September. So here's the deal, folks. Vote for Jim every day, every device. Go to votejim.net. Call your granny and make her do it, or go steal her phone and do it that way. Votejim.net. If I win, I will let the community vote for a bumper sticker that I will put on my car.
I can't believe you do this twice.
I will keep that bumper sticker
I can't believe
until the end of the year. I will keep that bumper sticker until December 31st.
God.
There's your motivation.
Nick
Are you
is shocked.
serious?
Do you want to vote for me now, Nick? Did it change your mind?
Nick, if you vote for him, you get to be part of the bumper sticker.
You
selection.
have the shortest memory of anybody I've ever met.
It's cost-benefit
Do you
analysis,
remember
man.
the panic that you were in?
Cost-benefit analysis. It'll be
April.
fine.
No,
It'll be
in
fine.
March.
Dude, I'm going to have a trophy that says Best of Las Vegas.
And a bumper sticker that says something so much worse.
Yeah, Jacob did have some really bad ideas last time, and I'm still
my God.
pretty haunted by the things that were on there. I will agree to keep it only until December 31st, but that's 2 solid months, because then I could be winning October 1. We get through November. Oh, shoot,
Okay.
that's 3 months. Oh, well, hold on. That's
I'm
90
in.
days.
Ah, you've already
I'm
said it.
in.
No, that's okay. I didn't do the math.
No,
I'm
it's
in.
done.
Okay, so Jacob has activated his screen on his computer and is now shopping for bumper stickers.
I'm logging
again.
in right now.
Vote for Jim. Oh my God. Oh,
God, you're so dumb.
Oh Jesus. Well, that's not good. That's going to offend a lot of women. I don't think I should put that one on.
It just says vegetarian.
I don't think. Oh wow. Okay. So they're just allowed to do that, huh? They can just do that. Wow. There's really no censorship.
I eat ass.
Oh Jesus. Go to
That's a solid
votejim.net.
one.
Oh God. All right. I'm going to read this letter while he is beginning to accumulate, and at the end of the show, we will do a parade of bumper stickers that he has found. Losing a friend in the COVID era. Hey, Pod Therapy guys and Jacob the life coach. I found your podcast during a low point in my life a few months ago and binged through your entire back catalog, and it has helped me so much. I am now looking for a therapist in my local area because of your podcast.
Woohoo.
Thanks, guys. That's great. That's the highest compliment we could possibly
That's fantastic.
receive. Here is my quandary. I recently moved to another state for work. At my last job, I worked at a small college in a rural community that was not the best for my mental health, as I am a very extroverted person, and this community forced me to be more introverted. This town was basically for families and retirees, so I had nobody there to lean on or meet. After unsuccessful job searches in my first year, I had resigned myself to being, quote, stuck in Barstow, that's one of our phrases, until I had enough job experience to get out. Also, the city of Barstow, if you would like to advertise on Pod Therapy, PodTherapyGuys@gmail.com. Send us a check. We will stop using your name as a disparaging term for being stuck in life. It took nearly 2 years for me to finally find a very special lady, let's call her Betty, who I thought would end up being my partner after nearly 10 years of being single. Little did I know that COVID-19 would hit at this same time, locking down the town and sending a majority of the students home. My dreams of hanging out with a potential partner were dashed. At the same time, my job just became very boring without students being present, and most of my job searches were being canceled except for one. A few weeks would go by and restrictions were lifted a bit, and I was elated when Betty invited me to game nights at her house. I instantly bonded with her and the group of friends there, and we played board games and card games. 2 weeks after this first game night, I got offered a job in another state, roughly a 15-hour drive away from all these new friends. I was torn, but I knew taking this job would be better for my mental health and career in the long run. I let Betty know a few days later, and she and I decided to remain just friends and went on several outings together with the board game group and some just the two of us as friends. We leaned into friendship, and I felt totally comfortable and at ease. We visit the coast, snuggle while watching movies at home, and talk every day. The group was so welcoming, and Betty made me feel so loved. Life went on like this for roughly 3 months, and I'm riding high on the friendship. June brings that all to a screeching halt. Now it feels like a slow-moving breakup. I know the end is coming and can't do anything to stop it. I start to get really depressed. When I'm with the group or Betty, I am still happy and loving life. But if I am not, I'm depressed. I start eating less and work is not fulfilling at all. I start to second guess my taking the job and moving away. I do not want to seek out a therapist at the moment, as I know that I'm going to leave soon and I don't want to form the relationship just for it to be gone in a couple of weeks. The week of my move, the group throws me a going away party complete with food, cake, and more board games. Betty comes over the night before I am set to leave, and we watch Netflix together, have platonic friend cuddles on the couch, and Betty gives me a really sweet present. But I cannot help but crying, knowing I am leaving such lovely people behind as I move on to another state. Betty and I agree to keep in touch, not only through social media, but we decide to be pen pals, writing each other letters like they did in the old days. I moved to my new state and everything seems gray and dull in my eyes because my friends are not here with me. Betty is not keeping in touch like I thought she would. I asked her if everything was okay between us because she is not keeping in touch, and she tells me 4 words: I'm taking my space. I seek out the advice of friends who help me come down from my feelings of abandonment and tell me that she will eventually come back into my life when she's ready. It's been a couple of months, and it's radio silence on her end. I do not want to push her further away, so I'm honoring her request for more space and not reaching out and letting her reach out when she's ready. My questions are these. Can people go through heartbreak similar to a romantic breakup if they feel like they've only lost a friendship? Other than going to a therapist, which I plan to do, what are some ways to help recover when the usual methods I use, such as going out with coworkers, meeting new people, and hitting the gym, are not available because COVID-19 has made many of those unavailable or scary? Thanks so much for the podcast, guys. I really appreciate what you do. Sincerely, Jeff Baxter.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, that's a great question. So, yeah, to answer the first question, your first question kind of goes to, can you go through a heartbreak similar to a romantic breakup if we're just talking friends? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
We've all moved to different states. Well, you moved to Nevada when you were younger, Jim. But
yeah.
I moved from Iowa actually 10 years ago.
Wow. Only 10 years ago?
Yeah.
I've known you that long.
Yeah.
That can't be true.
No.
When did you move to Vegas?
Actually, it was 2011.
Huh.
So 9 years, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that was difficult for me moving because, I mean, I really wanted to move. It was mostly climate and just kind of a change of pace, right? I wanted to experience something different, right? But I had a lot of things going for me, where I was living. I loved the fact that all my friends were there. I had family that was close. I had a group that I was golfing with on a regular basis, and it was kind of the social aspect. That was the only thing that really kept me stuck there. And it was difficult. There was a grieving process when I moved down because I felt like, all of my friends who I was really close with are staying there. And I felt like, God, is this going to be like the end of our friendship? Are we ever going to talk again?
Right.
And it's work. It's a lot more work because you have to put in effort to maintain those relationships.
Yeah.
Me and my group of friends, we get together, not every year, but maybe every other year. We plan a trip together.
Oh yeah, I remember you've done this.
Yeah, so we went to New
Orleans.
You go
with THERAPRODUCER Dr. Ben Dawn.
Yeah. So we went to New Orleans last year.
Nolans.
Correct. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody.
I believe it's
room.
pronounced Nolans.
You gotta really get those booby beads in there. If you don't get those into the word, you really haven't succeeded.
We did. We did Vegas one year. We're gonna do a couple other places.
You did Vegas one year? That's convenient.
Yeah, it was for me. I loved it. But I mean, it is
Oh,
work.
that's the best,
right?
When a group of friends comes here,
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
perfect.
Not going nowhere.
But it is work. You have to put in the effort to maintain that. You have to, and then the nice thing now with technology is, we've got text messages and stuff like that, so we don't have to actually make phone calls. We can just kind of touch base quickly that way, and Zoom and all that stuff has made it a lot easier to maintain those relationships.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm making is it's going to be work.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that you have to, every once in a while you've got to check in on people and see.
Well, and to the writer, Jeff, I really understand where this is coming from, right? Because you left your old town because of the social isolation.
Yeah.
Looking around and saying, I don't like just working here. I don't have people. I'm an extrovert, and this is dumb. Right? And then you meet a really quality woman and, you're like, whoa, I've been single for 10 years. This is like a person I could spend life with. Right. Mm-hmm. And then it immediately becomes a problem that you're moving away. And so I think it was wise for them to kind of steer more into the friendship box. It sounds like they were intentional with that. Of course, it was still, verging, into the not friendship. I mean, Nick and I have been friends for 10 years. We rarely cuddle. And so not as much as I'd like.
Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah. I think not as much as either of us would prefer, So
I can honestly say you two don't cuddle as much as I would like.
So I would say you weren't perfectly in the friendship box with Betty, but hey, I get it. I think you guys were very wise to sort of see that coming. But yeah, man, I mean, you lost your people, you developed real bonds. And I wonder, Nick, if he could get in a time machine and like not go looking for that offer if he would have just stayed, like if he had good friends, he had a good relationship, would that have been worth it? And one of the things that comes to my mind is to go back to that episode we did on values.
Mm-hmm.
When you're making a decision like this, you're allowed to ask yourself, what am I looking for? And Jeff said, hey, listen, I made the move because it was the right thing for my career and my mental health, if we're being honest. But now I'm kind of on that fence because it's like, well, wait a minute. There was good things for my mental health. Betty was good for my mental health. Those relationships were good for my mental health. Now I'm feeling heartbroken, and grieving. And I think grieving is the right word to describe a big life change. I think moving in general can often come with grieving, let alone losing a relationship that you were taking very seriously. And it's hard.
It is. But, I guess you can flip that the other way too, in the sense that you made a decision and you somehow came to the conclusion that this was going to be best for you.
Right.
Now, you get to that point where when you start taking action to actually make that change happen, then you start second guessing it, right?
Right.
And that's because of emotion.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the logical part of the brain that is reconsidering a decision that you've made.
Mm-hmm.
It's the emotional part of the brain that's scared.
Yeah.
Right? That's starting to question the logical part of the brain that made that decision.
Which I think is,
normal.
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
Right,
that's absolutely going to happen. But the thing that I would remind you of is that you came to that conclusion, for a reason.
There were reasons.
Right. Yeah. You had a
you
math.
thought this was going to be the good option, and maybe it still is.
Yeah.
Right. So it's normal to second guess yourself, but I would encourage you to follow through with it.
Which he seems
100%.
to be doing, and he says, I'm going to find a therapist in my new location. I'm getting adjusted. I'm looking good, and you can always tell that somebody's listened to our show.
Yeah.
If they write in and somewhere in their letter, it says, before you guys recommend that I talk to a therapist,
don't waste your time.
Here's the answer to that, right? Like either, yes, I'm already going to do it, so shut up, or I already am, leave me alone, or whatever. And
or I'm not going to, so
piss
don't
off.
even tell me
Yeah,
to.
yeah. But anytime somebody preempts that we're going to say that, I always know, all right, yeah, you've passed the test.
I feel like we're doing our job.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know what we were going to say.
Yeah.
But, the writer says, okay, but listen, COVID has shut down a lot of my normal coping skills, right? Because like Nick would probably tell you, hey, man, exercise, right? Here's all the benefits of that. He has an entire PowerPoint on it.
I would also say meetup.com.
Go to meetup.com. And he's like, okay, so I can't do that. I can't go to Meetup, right? Because that's all virtual. I can't go to the gym. I'm new. I'm a new person in a new city. And like, how do I replace my social engagement? I've already told you guys I'm an extrovert. That was one of the things weighing me down where I was at, but at least I had people there that I'd already established a relationship with. How do I navigate this? And that is hard.
It is.
It is really hard.
Yeah. It really kind of screwed up all of our typical go-tos,
Right. How do you cope?
Because living in the COVID world is different than living in the pre-COVID world.
Right. Post-COVID.
Yeah. That's tough.
COVID. You think I could get that going?
I don't think we need to even probably come up with a name for it. I think
pre-Rona. That was an era that was pre-Rona. Okay. And now we're in the Anno Domini.
We really only have a limited amount of time.
In the year of our Lord, Corona.
I stopped listening to Jim
we're gonna get it. We're going to get to it. I feel like I've got it. So, Jeff, I'll tell you this, bud. A, you're absolutely doing the right thing by taking that step toward a therapist as a general rule. Also, because you recognized I moved in part for my mental health. I am going through significant career change. I am feeling disruption. I am getting used to a new place. COVID has messed up my normal rituals and my normal lifestyle. And I'm grieving. I'm grieving the loss of Betty. Even though it's been a couple of months, I've been holding out hope. And I have friends telling me she'll come back. Well, this is starting to feel like she's not coming back. Mm-hmm. And it's been a couple months now. Also, by the way, you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you, you're doing the right thing by honoring her respect my space thing.
Yep, I was going to say that too.
Yeah, you're absolutely doing the right thing.
Because
there's not going to be a win if you go after her when she said, "No, I want my space."
Yes, and I think a lot of people wonder if they're supposed to try, if what's the deal here? Would it work out if I did? And a lot of people second guess that. And you're allowed to, and I'm not going to say that it never works out, but I will say, hey, I'm a big fan of somebody tells you, I need my space, please stop, and you say, gotcha. Let's give you that space. I like listening to that, Jeff. Yeah. So good job.
Say that it never works out. It's rare.
I don't think it always does. Yeah. So I think you're handling that exactly right. But now it's about letting go of that place, letting go of those friends, letting go of Betty, that's a grieving process, right? And so I think that, you language that with your therapist whenever you begin that work. That's going to be one of the things that therapist is probably going to identify that needs to happen, is that you're going to be going through this full transition that's happening as you change spaces. And now, I guess we're trying to creatively come up with ways for you to socialize, coworkers maybe in the new space.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is let's not discredit the things that you've already done.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you said you were living in a community that was difficult for you to live in because you're an extrovert.
Right.
However, despite that, you overcame that obstacle.
That's right.
You created you made this, like you created this social environment.
Right.
You went out, you made that happen.
You said yes.
Even though you had that obstacle in place.
Right.
So those same skills that you used before still exist.
Yeah.
I mean, the obstacle's different now.
Right.
The obstacle now is post-COVID world.
And we'll honor your discouragement. We do not want to dismiss that, with too simple an answer. I think that we're going to acknowledge you are facing a tough season.
Absolutely.
And it has been, and you've adapted well. And I think at the end, buddy, you probably made the right decisions. You're playing a lifelong game. You can't bet everything on Betty, and you're allowed to. I think people are allowed to sit down and say, my highest value is romantic love. All other things in my life subserve that. Okay, cool. Then you can focus on Betty. But then if it didn't work out, you're going to ask yourself, well, should I have taken that job? That was a good job and probably better for me as a person. I don't know. You rolled the dice. And so I think that you probably made the right call, Jeff, all things considered. I mean, if this relationship didn't have the strength to endure the move, it probably wasn't going to keep going. Probably.
That's another way of looking at that.
Yeah. So ditch Betty, date Wilma. It's always been my view. I'm just kidding. I would have dated Betty. Yeah. I would have definitely dated Betty.
You definitely seem like a Betty person.
I'm more into Betty. Yeah. Betty Rubble. She's what's up.
But thank you, Jeff. We appreciate the letter. Very grateful that you've taken the steps towards getting into
Thank you for
therapy,
putting up
all
with
that.
us. Thank you for listening to the whole back catalog. Even though a lot of people describe listening to Pod Therapy as the low point of their life. Starting to notice a trend. That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Chicken or the egg?
Yeah. Where did that start? That's the first thing your therapist is going to say, Jeff. And be like, so I want you to stop listening to Pod Therapy, like yesterday. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to discuss gaming in relationships. You're listening to Pod Therapy.
This week's THERAPRODUCER sponsors Nathan's Hot Dog Scoop. Now, you had an advantage in the 90s lyrics pop trivia.
I'm 2 for 2, champ.
I think you're going to lose that advantage. I think Jacob's got this one.
What is
this
the genre?
I knew both of the ones on the last
you did?
show. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know before I did.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't. You didn't sing them.
Facts.
Okay.
That's true.
This one is 80s hair metal.
Oh, I'm done.
All right.
Jacob's going to destroy me.
Here we go. Paint your smile on your lips. Blood red nails on your fingertips. A schoolboy's dream, you act so shy. Your very first kiss was your first kiss goodbye.
What? I have no idea. Is it the Hot for Teachers song?
No.
Oh, feels like that would have worked. Do you know? You know who it is?
I know the lyrics, but I can't. I don't know the song.
Can you read more of it? Is that the chorus?
No, that's a verse.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's
read the
intentionally.
chorus.
It's intentionally. Well, it's got the. That's got the name of the song. In
Bleep
the
out
chorus.
that part and just say the rest.
Bleep. If you would like to join Nathan's Hot Dog Scoop and make the show possible, go to patreon.com/therapy and sign up. Again, that's patreon.com/therapy.
I got nothing.
It's also really hard for me to, I'm better at music than I am at lyrics.
Oh, yeah. If you can hear the tune.
Yeah.
Okay, whistle it for us, Nick.
No.
So any 80s hair metal, that's more about the big guitar, the big guitar solos and everything than it is about the lyrics.
The song starts out.
Barracuda.
No, it's not Barracuda.
I think it's that's not Def Leppard.
It's a New Jersey band.
Oh, Bruce Springsteen.
No,
that's 100% of the New Jersey bands I could name. Journey. Is that New Jersey?
Fast kiss, goodbye. Nah, I can't think of it. What is it?
You Give Love a Bad Name.
You give love a bad name.
Bon Jovi.
You.
Yep.
Man, I feel like you could have given us better hints.
No.
Shot through the heart, and you're to blame. You could have given us that. You could have said shot through the heart.
Yeah, or I could have just not made it a game at all and just given you the answer.
You know what? Sing it for us, Nick. Let's do karaoke. Like that time we did years ago. Gaming and relationships. Hey, Pod Therapy. Since your AMA on Reddit, I've started listening to your podcast from the very beginning. Wow, another sucker. That's fantastic. I've recently listened to your live episode in Las Vegas, which was great. Hey, we live here, by the way.
That was fun. That was a good episode.
We drove down the road to the live episode.
That was good.
But it was live, and it was in Las Vegas, and it was great. Tonight, I am coming to you for advice and help with some problems I've been having. An episode that really resonated with me was the episode where you discussed gaming addiction and identifying when it becomes a problem. Today, I'm asking for advice in regards to this and some other problems I have. Before you continue, thanks in advance. Here's a little bit of my background. I'm a computer programmer, rock climber, been married almost 2 years, and I have a dog. Known problems, there's probably more than I'm about to say. I play video games before chores and make my wife happy. I don't know why I do this. Cannot express my sad feelings properly. Some things about my past. I really dislike talking about my feelings. My younger sister died of cancer. I have a rough relationship with my family due to what I see as a controlling mom and how my parents see my wife, and I generally just have family relationship issues. For a long time since I was young, I played video games. I've always had problems with chores, homework, studying, putting everything off until the last minute. I used to show my feelings more in my young high school relationships, and I was very active with others while I always found time for video games. Reading this back to myself, I realized that I do have a problem with video gaming. I spend a lot of time sitting at a computer. I have since my family had one when I was growing up. Funnily enough, I now am a computer programmer and build software all day and love 80% of it. Every job has its ups and downs. My wife identified that I spend too much time video gaming for the past few years. If I look at the past, I can see that I really do spend too much time video gaming. The video game addiction episode, where the gentleman continues to game at late hours with his wife, still performing his chores, and then slowly reverted to his old ways, feels all too real to me. I don't even have a child yet, only a dog, and it's clear that sitting at the computer is more of a priority than my loved ones. This really makes me feel sad, and honestly I struggle to describe more of what I'm feeling. I bottle the emotions up and don't express them much. As I joke about it, if I don't think about it, is it real, is how I handle my sadness and pain. It's horrible, but I don't know any better way of talking about it that just creates a faucet of tears and babbling. About 2 or 3 months ago, I really cut back on video gaming. This was mainly caused by the burnout of the game I play, old school RuneScape, where the objective is literally to set in-game goals and complete them. There is no finished state, and the reward of each completed goal is enjoyable, and along with that I am able to stay in touch with my childhood friends that no longer live near me. I replaced this time with some Netflix and mainly a side project. I really thought that at this point I was going to become something else because I was also struggling with chores and simple tasks that come along and being a new house owner. 3 weeks ago, my wife and I created a chore list with everything listed of what I should do that day, some of which take no more than 10 minutes to complete. Yet, I struggle to find time or the urge to do it, and I know it needs to be done and would make my wife happy even if she didn't notice. Looking at how I spend my time, even if I'm not video gaming or working on a side project, I always have something that is going on before whatever it is. I don't think video gaming is the root of the problem, because even if I substitute that with hanging out with friends, going to the climbing gym, literally doing anything else, I don't get my chores done or do loving things for others. I feel like I have a time management issue and improperly value my time. I am selfish, and it's clearly causing my wife emotional pain. She told me today that we're on the tracks toward resentment, and it needs to change because I can't imagine having a child with me. Ooh, geez. I won't lie to you, I have heard similar phrases in the past from her, all too often. Sometimes she admits she overreacted, but really, I have a problem and I can't get myself to fix this issue. I love my wife, and I want to fix this problem. I know I have a stigma attached to seeing a therapist and talking about my feelings, but I really need to figure this problem out. I definitely can best express myself in text, as shown in the paragraphs above, and I'm open to seeing a therapist, but I struggle with the thought and don't think I could see one in person. Do you have any immediate suggestions besides seeing a therapist? Thank you, Henry Snowpick.
You are a listener.
You do listen. Well, first, we think you should go see a therapist, Henry. Thanks for writing in.
After you've done that, you should consider seeing a therapist.
Yeah, then make sure you see a therapist in between those two.
Okay, so he referenced earlier episodes where we kind of talk about gaming addiction.
Yeah.
So there's a YouTube channel that I would direct you to. I think I mentioned it in this past episode, but I think it's really good. It's called Game Quitters. If you just put that into YouTube, you'll go to that channel, and it's run by Cam Adair. And I got to meet Cam at a conference here in Vegas, and he does some amazing work with people who want to stop playing video games. And I know the average person is kind of looking at this like, is that a real thing? Like video game addiction? Like people really have problems with this? And yeah, it actually, like that adolescent treatment program that I was running, that I mentioned in the last episode, we had a couple kids in there for it. And it was serious to the point where like they were stealing credit cards to pay for video games.
Oh yeah.
And
I've seen that.
And like serious health issues because they're not getting up.
Yeah, or in the writer's case, Henry's talking about it hurting his marriage.
Relationship issues.
And he's also saying, he's careful in the letter to say, guys, I don't want to just frame this as all video gaming because I've tried to stop, and I've actually noticed that even in the absence of that, I'm still not proactively in my relationship.
So I would avoid really getting down the rabbit hole of video game addiction. Sure. And let's just talk about it as it's causing problems. Right, because ultimately that's the point where we really need to understand it.
Yes.
This behavior is causing problems, but I do it a lot.
Yes.
Okay. So in this channel, Cam Adair's channel of Game Quitters, one of the things that he talks about is he talks about the needs that video games meet.
Yeah.
What needs these meet. And it's really important to take a look at this because if you just stop video gaming, you still have these needs.
Right.
And they're not being met. And that's what drives people back into that same behavior again.
Yeah.
Or into other behaviors that are just as harmful or more harmful.
Right.
Right. So one of the very first thing that he talks about is it's an escape.
Okay.
Okay. So video gaming provides an escape. I see this a lot. And this is for a lot of kids that I've worked with in the past that were bullied a lot. Mm-hmm. Like this is kind of their escape where in the real world, they are shy, they're kind of awkward around other kids, they get bullied, but then they get to go home, they get to be this character in this video game.
Right.
And they get to create this character, and it's who they start identifying as that.
Sure.
Right? So it provides that escape. Another thing is socialization.
Yes. Big.
Everybody, this is one of the biggest misconceptions that people think about when they think about video gamers. People who don't understand video gaming is they're like, don't you have friends?
Right.
Like, yeah, they've got tons of friends. That's what they're doing. They're socializing with their friends, right? So it provides that socialization. The other thing that's really important is its constant measurable growth. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's created.
You're adding layers to your game.
So it's created in a way where you do something and you get a reward.
Right.
And you grow, right? And you get constantly advance. And that's
even more simplified. It's you're setting goals for yourself and you're achieving those goals.
Especially in RuneScape. Yeah.
Right.
Like that's what you do.
And it provides you like a purpose.
Yeah.
Provides you a mission. It gives you something to do. Right. I mean, and you get that reward. So you're constantly evolving. And that's what we want out of anything that we do.
Right.
Anything we do, we want to get better at it. Right.
Yeah.
But the way that video games do it is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like it's very structured.
Yeah.
And it's very clear. I do this behavior, I get this reward.
Yeah.
And you
pleasurable.
Just build off of it. Right. And then the last thing is it's a challenge.
Right.
Like it provides you something that you can challenge yourself and you get to advance in. So as I'm thinking about all of the stuff that you said in your letter and comparing it to those four things, I can see how even when you remove the video games, you're still having issues with your relationships with your wife, with completing chores and other things.
That seems a big one.
Because a lot of these things still exist, like that escape. I think number one is a big one. From what I'm hearing you talk about, number one, having that escape, I feel is a big part of your video gaming. and a big part of everything else that you're doing.
Right.
I could be way off. This is just this is just what I'm hearing.
I mean, as a rule, we're
this.
wrong, but
generally, we err on the side of always being wrong.
But if you just throw them in every direction, sometimes you hit something.
But escape really hits with me when I hear about all the other behaviors.
Right.
So even though you said besides seeing a therapist, I'm going to emphasize, that when you do kind of get to that point of looking at therapy, I would take a look at what is the thing that I'm trying to escape.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment of that. And I like also, Nick, how you kind of broke down some of the psychology, behind the video gaming. Why? I think it's important because a lot of people, if they talk about video gaming, it feels very minimized. And I do this all the time when I'm working with teenagers and their parents are like, oh my God, I don't like that they don't have any friends. I don't like that they just play video games. And I'm kind of like always that interpreter who's trying to tell them some of the most meaningful friendships I've ever had in my life, I just had in a video game. And like they were a real human being that lived in another place.
Oh, imagine just being able to be friends with Jim and not be around him.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet deal. And we're mostly just doing things the whole time. So like I believe in the legitimacy of video games big time. And so I appreciate, Nick, how you kind of unpacked that and explained it. Here's why it becomes this large thing in a person's life. It's not inherently bad. But if you start noticing, hey, this has an outsized presence in my life, like Henry did mention. Hey, I'm a computer programmer. I'm always on this device.
Yeah.
And like when this is also 100% of my recreation, the time real estate of me facing this device, it becomes pretty disproportionate, right? And like I have a wife and like I have a dog and like I have other things that should start taking up some of my time economy. And like I want to intentionally start spending time in those directions, which to his credit, he did. And that, by the way, is a huge thing for us. If Nick kind of threw out that thing and said, hey, let's steer away from the word addiction. And I think that that's correct in this case, because if somebody's successfully cutting back on something, we generally say, great, keep doing that. You do have the ability to do that. Where I'm seeing Henry kind of, get frustrated is saying, but even in the vacancy I've created, I've not found a way to proactively do these chores. We've even done structured activities like making a list, giving ourselves time requirements. I don't think about it. I don't have the urge to do it. And I find myself routinely procrastinating, not getting things done. So let's speak to that for a moment. How do we just get behavior change in this very superficial way? How do we get a human to take out the trash, to do the dishes, to clean up the dog poop, to feed the dog, to, go to votejim.net and vote Jim on every single device, every single day in their house. I
can't wait for October.
How do we get all that done? Because we got to make sure we get Jim elected best of Las Vegas so we can have a trophy. Okay,
and he gets a bumper sticker.
And he gets a bumper sticker.
Like this one that I found, for instance, that has a picture of a young lady with the circle with the slash through it. And it just says, girls have no brains.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's the thing. They sell that? They sell that on the internet?
Found it.
In America? They're allowed to do that? Okay. Oh, there it is. He pulled it up on the screen. Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad that free speech exists. Oh, Jesus. What have I done?
Yeah.
VoteJim.net.
Again. What have you done? Again.
Yeah.
So, Henry, how can we help you? Here's another thing to think about. There is a strategy that I've seen deployed in different places called gamification. Gamifying is whenever you take routine tasks, things that you don't want to do, and you gamify it. So you're already able to do that in RuneScape. You set your own measurable objectives, and then you pursue those objectives in the game for the reward of having gotten the job done and then continuing. You can gamify your own life, which I've done in different tasks that I do, and I've taken on that strategy with different things that I need to handle, where I gamify it. So I set up, like, okay, what are the pieces I need to do every day, and then somehow making it something fun. Like there's a reward if I get it all done, or keeping my own score. We've talked about that in couples work. We've recommended the app Love Nudge, which gamifies how to show love to your spouse in a relationship. And all these things, if you're noticing, it would make my wife feel really good if I do my chores. It's possible that her love language is like acts of service. And so you could gamify that and be like, hey, how do I make sure that my wife is feeling very loved by me? By getting that car washed, by setting reminders in my phone, using the calendar function, or using apps like Love Nudge that pop up those reminders to help me so that I can do these things and then calculate when I've done them and increase my high score. You know, and so like there's ways to approach this creatively that break this down so that it doesn't feel like you have to. It doesn't feel like something you're putting off and you want to do something else instead. It feels like, ooh, if I get this done, I get arbitrary amount of points or whatever, and my wife and I play. Like it's a game that we do together or whatever. I think that there's ways to gamify something to get some change.
So here's what I would say. Try that approach.
And then when that fails,
no,
try this.
Maybe it works. Maybe it works. In which case, if it does work, I'm probably wrong.
Great.
If it doesn't work,
yes,
then I would take a look at the escape thing.
Okay.
Because if you're doing that, it's not going to address the escapism.
Right. Mine's a superficial solution.
Well, but yours addresses a different number of those, right? Okay,
right.
So out of those 4 needs, yours addresses a different need.
Okay.
Right? Whereas mine addresses the escapism, yours addresses that constant measurable growth.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can look at each one of these and systematically, like, I'm going to do something to address this one. If that's not working, then maybe that's not the thing that is the issue.
Yeah.
Because, again, and I could be completely wrong, but for whatever reason, hearing your letter, that piece just sticks out to me.
Yeah.
That there's that it provides such an escape for you.
Are you talking about the video games? You think the video games?
No, not just the video. The video games are a piece of it.
The avoidance?
But I think it's the avoidance.
Okay.
I feel like there's maybe some issues going on, or some fear maybe, or some concerns
for
going
him
on.
not doing chores.
Yes.
I feel like you're adding a little.
No. Okay. Yeah,
like the reason a guy don't take out the trash is not because he has a deep-seated fear.
No. But what I'm hearing though is like I'm also hearing like, okay, so remove the video games and it's me socializing with friends. I do that instead of doing these other things.
Oh.
Or if it's not socializing with friends, it's I start a special project.
Okay.
So I'm doing that instead of something else.
The avoidance.
Like
all right.
I think because taking out the trash isn't an escape.
Yeah, I follow now.
You know,
I see where you're going with this.
I feel like
there's a root. There's a root to this. So that's fair. And so to Henry, I guess there's a good fork in the road to try 2 different strategies there. Mine being, I think, a little bit more superficial, like, you know, smart goaling, you know, I think setting smart goals, like whenever somebody's like, oh, I need to get through this project at work, or I need to get through this degree or this class that I'm working on, or whatever, you know, or I have these chores that I need to be faithful to, or I have this project that I need to complete. I'm a big fan of breaking it into smaller pieces and gamifying that, making it interesting to yourself. Go into a craft store.
Let me throw a third fork in here.
Oh,
and that is because it sounds like they're already doing a lot of structure stuff. You know, making the lists and doing that kind of thing. I would say maybe expand on that.
Yeah.
Something that I like to do is I like to just say, you know, I've got my list of all the things that need to be done each night. You know, before I go to bed, or each evening before I'm kind of done with the day. I'll look at my next day and go, oh. You know what? Tomorrow I've got X, Y, and Z that I have to get done tomorrow. I've got work or whatever I have.
Mm-hmm.
I can give myself 2 hours in there where I can work on a chore.
Okay.
I can work on a chore for 2 hours tomorrow, and I'm going to figure it out the day before. So the day before, I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to go, tomorrow I've got some weeds that need to be pulled in the backyard. So tomorrow for 2 hours, I can go out there and weed the backyard. And I'll go ahead and set a time for myself as well. So I'll really structure it for myself. So I'll say, you know, at 2 p.m. tomorrow, from 2 to 4, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to weed the backyard. And I'm not going to let anything else distract me, because for those 2 hours, that's yard weeding time.
Okay.
Or, you know, I might say, oh, tomorrow, I don't have anything to do. I've got nothing on my schedule tomorrow. I can do 8 hours. I can work on something for 8 hours. I can look at this like a job.
I see.
So let me find a bigger project that's on my list. Oh, I need to... I need to go. I don't know. Do something bigger. I need to fix a roof. Yeah. And I've got 8 hours tomorrow that I can work on that, and I can get it knocked out in a day, and that feels good to me
because you'll calendar it.
I calendar it. I get it all set up, and I know what I'm going to do that next day, and then I've got something that I can absolutely succeed at it.
Yeah.
I can look at it and say, like, yep, I worked for 2 hours today weeding the backyard.
Got that done.
That feels good.
Right.
That feels really good that I got that done. I got that physical activity in. That feels nice. It feels physically good. And it also, I succided in doing that. So it kind of leans on your thing. With
like that. It's adding that calendar function.
I kind of do something a little bit
similar
in the sense that, like, not necessarily the calendar thing, but what I always try to do is I try 2 things. Number one, I always try to pair it with something that's going to make it more tolerable.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's like podcasts or music. So if I can put earphones in while I'm doing the activity.
While you vacuum or something like that.
It makes it so much faster,
Yeah.
easier to do. But the other thing that I try to do too is I always try to imagine the end product before I start it.
Okay.
And not just what is it going to look like, but how is it going to feel having it done. Like, so for example, when my house is clean after I've cleaned it, like vacuum, dust, all that stuff, I feel really good sitting in a clean house, relaxing. I feel very relaxed.
I like that.
Very calm. So I try to kind of reinforce that. And like, how am I going to feel when this is done? It's going to feel very calming. I'm going to feel at peace with everything. I'm going to be in a better headspace. And I just kind of use that to kind of create some motivation.
I like that. And I like pairing that, I think, with Jacob's strategy of like calendaring it, looking at your time and saying, okay, I have this gap. I am calendaring this activity into that gap. And then literally letting the robot tell you. And like let the robot chime and go, hey, it's 1 p.m. Take out all the trash. Or hey, trash day's tomorrow. Like get that out tonight. I love that. And then I really like your idea of one of the things you subtly said in that last one of pairing with positive things. I think that's also gamifying. Like for a while, to trick myself into doing like cardio on a bike thing, I made a rule where I could only listen to my audiobook if I was on the bike.
Oh.
And so I love audiobooks. That's one of the things I want to do when I'm not working. I can't wait to get back to my story. I'm really looking forward to it. Well, I'm not allowed to listen to it unless I'm on my bike. So, okay, fine. I'll sit there and pedal the stupid bike so that I can listen to the stupid podcast or to the, the audiobook because I want to, right? So again, pairing, making it game, like creating that kind of sense. I have a couple that I work with individually, but they have a thing where they're gamifying their student debt. And so to gamify it, they went to a craft store and they created these colorful rings, these like paper ring things, like this paper mache deal. And they've created a like lace that goes around their roof in their house, like in their ceiling, in the corner, and it goes all the way around their living room. And each ring in the thing is like $1,000 or something.
Oh,
like
so you get a
and every time they pay off $1,000, they have this whole thing where they get up there with a pair of scissors and like they cut it off and they burn it, and like it's this whole fun thing. And like every time you look at it, like I can't wait to get another one of these things off. And like it's just it feels really they gamified it. They made it this fun, beat the game kind of thing. And
extra activity
doesn't take much to do that. So
and if none of that works, I like Jim's other approach of looking at the problem and just asking yourself, who and how much do I need to pay to get this problem to go away?
I love that. Yeah. Pay a mercenary.
It's always Jim's number one.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. With projects? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, am I going to sit here and learn how to design stores and like figure out Photoshop? Nope. Somebody else is smarter than me. They can do it, So am I going to hang this shelf? Nope. Not unless I want it to have a slant. It's not going to look good, and I'm just going to be mad. And I don't want to do that. Am I going to learn how to install a fan? Nope. I'm going to get somebody on Yelp to do that. So.
You're your own biggest fan.
Go to votejim.net, and you too can support me as a fan.
Hope that helps, Henry. Thanks for listening.
All right. So I think we're taking another break, and when we come back, we're going to read a letter that has criticism for Nick.
What?
And me too.
Oh, we're finally getting to my letter.
Yeah. You're listening to Pod Therapy.
This week's TheraProducer sponsor is Dr. Ben Don. Continuing with our theme of 80s hair metal. This is actually my favorite 80s song. This was my ringtone for a long time.
If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friend.
Yep.
Yes.
Spice Girls later remade that.
That hair metal hit that everybody knows. All right, here we go. Tequila in his heartbeat, his veins burned gasoline. It kept his motor running, but it never kept him clean. They say he loved adventure. Ricky's the wild one. He married trouble. He had a courtship with a gun.
Jesse's Girl.
No.
I have no idea.
Also not 80s hair metal.
Oh. 80s hair metal.
Well, we said I am Jesse's Girl!
867-5309.
No, you're getting further away. If you would like
Kokomo.
to join Ben Don and make the show possible, you can go to patreon.com/therapy and sign up. Again, that's patreon.com/therapy.
Do you feel that you could have gotten this? If I would have just...
Oh, yeah.
Do you do?
This
He
song?
said it's his favorite song.
It's like my favorite 80s hair metal song.
80?
All right, what is it?
18 in Life by Skid Row.
Oh.
Who the hell's Skid Row?
Sebastian Bach, man.
Bach is a... Wait, what?
Not Johann Sebastian Bach.
Oh,
just
sorry.
Sebastian Bach.
Got it. Okay, because Bach, that rings a bell.
Who I've seen in concert with Skid Row a couple of times. I've also seen Skid Row. I've seen Skid Row, I think, 4 times.
Oh, wow.
This is a popular band.
Twice with Sebastian Bach and twice with Bach's replacements. Yeah. And I've also seen Sebastian Bach on Broadway.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In the play Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, he did Broadway for a while. I remember
Wow. This is like a well-known
it was
band?
Bad.
Skid Row? It's a big band?
Yeah.
Was a big band?
It's a big band in like...
It's not Metallica.
In hair metal.
Yeah.
Like for a hair metal fan.
Okay. Yeah. If you know the genre, you know Skid Row.
Yeah.
Got it.
They're the mega bands that everybody knows, whether you're a hair metal band or not. Or hair metal fan or not.
Got it.
And this is the next level down.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fine. Great. I'm glad everybody enjoyed that.
Yes.
Dear Pod Therapy Guys. See, again, people think the show is called Pod Therapy Guys.
And again, it comes up if you search that, so shut up.
It's called Pod Therapy. This letter's irrelevant. I have just disqualified whatever this criticism is. I found
Since Jim is criticizing that, I'll point out this other bumper sticker.
Oh, God, only gay cops give me tickets. Oh, I would just get shot. I feel like that's how you get killed.
Why?
Because
is there something wrong?
No, you know what? Good point. No, nothing wrong with that.
I don't understand.
And why would a cop care? I'm sure there's plenty of gay cops.
Yes.
Dear Therapy Guys.
We're learning more about you than anything else. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I think I'm just scared of anything that he puts on my car.
Again, which is why I can't believe
Go to votejim.net. Make it worth it. Make it worth it. Go to votejim.net. Vote for me.
You really want this.
Every day, every device. I beat my kid with my other kid.
I like that one a lot.
Oh my God. That cartoon is fantastic.
It's a silhouette of a person holding a kid by the foot, beating another kid with that kid like they're
just
a club.
Creative. Whoever did that. Wow. Dear Therapy Guys, I found your podcast last December during one of my sleepless nights. My doctor decided to take me off my clonazepam because he was afraid it would cause me to go senile, hence my sleepless nights. I was glad to find something interesting that wasn't about Trump.
Oh, sorry.
Don't listen to our last episode. For some reason, your voices help me doze off.
Even that was pretty loosely about Trump.
Yeah.
For some reason, your voices help me doze off. So at first, I thought that Nick and Jacob weren't letting Jim talk.
Yeah.
I still doze off during your podcast. Great. That's the perfect way to listen to it.
Wait, so he only dozes off during the parts where Jim talks?
But when I wake up, I will listen to it again. Oh, good. Now I realize how wrong I was. It's Jim that monopolizes the show. All right. It's a great show, and I have learned a lot. I even enjoy your silly laughter, but it really bothers me when you use the wrong form of first-person singular pronoun. Writer, before I even continue to read your criticism, let me tell you a little secret. You are not the first person to realize I don't know how to say words, that words are said wrong. Continuing. I should always be the subject of the sentence, the noun that performs the action, as in, I threw the ball. Me is the object, the one that receives the action. Jim threw the ball to me. Usually it's Nick that makes this mistake, but last night, Jim said, if you listen to Nick and I show... What? Otherwise, keep up the good work. Sincerely, Manuela Armendariz and Odessa, Texas. First off, Manuela, go fuck yourself.
No, okay.
We're taking a stand. Tired of being pushed around, damn it.
Jim, start that sentence with I.
Nick, you said this letter was about you. It was not. It was clearly a dig on me.
Oh,
but
I thought it was a dig on me.
Show. How? You're not even negatively referenced.
Yes, I am. It says usually it's Nick that makes us.
Then here's Jim doing
hold on.
Also, I don't think I really said that.
Hold on.
There's a quick throwaway
All right,
line.
first.
It's about Nick.
And he somehow comes at me and is like, oh, this whole thing's about me.
First of all, Manuela.
Oversold.
First of all, Manuela. Me don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Me never do that.
Me like cookies.
Me never do that.
Me not do that.
Me have no idea what you're referencing.
Code monkey like Fritos. I could never do this crap. Like in English class, in high school and all that. To this day, My son lectures me about this. I have no idea what any of this is. I don't know what a pronoun is. I don't know what nouns are. I don't know. I think I know what verbs are.
I'm surprised
but then I don't know what
list them.
I don't know what adverbs are. I have no idea.
Adverbs
what those are.
describe a verb.
Okay, so
I
the
ran
verb
quickly.
Yeah,
Verb-
quickly is the adverb.
ran is a verb, right?
Yes.
Because
Correct.
it's an action.
And
Yes.
what's the adverb?
So
I
an
ran quickly.
So it's an adjective.
No,
It's a-
adjectives describe a noun.
It's an
Adverbs
adjective for a
describe
verb.
So
it
quickly.
is an adjective for a verb.
There you go.
Okay, which
Yes.
makes sense. Adverb.
Yes.
Okay, so quickly is an adverb.
There you go.
Got it. Okay, but if I said I pushed the box, a box is a noun.
Yes. And in that case, it's the
But
subject.
the writer says
Wait.
I'm the noun because I pushed the box.
I is also
I
a
is
noun.
the subject of the sentence,
Yeah,
she says.
it's also the subject.
The sub
the noun that performs the action.
is
I believe
the
I is also a
box.
pronoun.
I is the bot.
Yeah.
I am.
Well,
the box.
he, she would be pronouns, right?
Yeah. I think I is just a first person pronoun.
What's a pronoun?
All I know right now is Manuela is hearing this and is just fuming.
Chewing. Yeah, on her tongue. Don't write in with criticism.
Just shaking.
If you
their
don't
heads.
want us to talk about it.
If you think we're dumb now, wait till you write
Go to
in
sleep,
and we
Manuela.
answer it. Then we'll show you how
I'll
dumb
start
we
singing
are.
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star at the beginning of the show. Put you to bed. All right, so I don't know about any of this crap. I don't know what a me, I subject. I have no idea. I also don't feel like we violate this as much as we're being accused of it. You probably do. But also, you were raised in Iowa. You're barely civilized. I feel like we need to be giving you a lot more credit than we do. The fact that you use words is fantastic.
Hold on. The person from the Nevada school system
Yes.
is going to question the Iowa school system.
I am.
All right.
We didn't learn how to count
Louisiana
no
school
corn.
system just going to stay quiet over there.
Louisiana school system is already too many words.
Louisiana school system's motto, at least we're not Mississippi.
Oh, that is the Nevada motto on a lot of things. Every time they're like, oh, Nevada's 49th in the nation, I'm like, is it
Thank
Mississippi?
God for Mississippi.
Thank God for Mississippi. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how to do words good.
All right.
I don't
So
talk good.
thank you, Manuela, for listening.
Thank you for your feedback.
Now, the challenge has been raised. So we need episodes moving forward. Timestamp them.
Yeah.
Let us know and provide references so we can go back and listen to this because I am curious.
No,
I
don't
do
want
hear
people to
you
start
say.
sending us
No,
this.
I do hear you say. If you listen to Nick and I show,
If you look at, I say Nick and I's show.
That's wrong.
The S
Yeah.
is silent.
That's wrong.
I don't think that's the problem.
If you listen to Nick and I's show, what, you don't like that? I can't say that? That's wrong?
no,
Nick
that's
and,
wrong.
Nick and Mine show? If you listen to Nick and Mine show,
Look,
that's dumb.
Look, I don't know what the right
Nick and
answer
Mize?
is.
Not mine.
You
I
want me to
just know
say
you're wrong.
Mize? That don't make any sense.
I think Mize is better than Eyes.
You listen to Nick and Mi's show.
All right, Manuela, right back in.
Should I just say My?
I think
Nick
my,
and My show? That probably seems right.
No, I think you still need. I think it still needs to be possessive.
but
So I
that
think-
isn't My
Mine?
possessive. Mine?
No, I think Mize is
The
better
hell,
than
My
Eyes.
has to be possessive. My can't be a word.
It's definitely not Eyes.
This is my
I know.
cup.
I know it's that Nick and
Holding my
Eyes.
cup.
I know it's that Nick and Eyes show.
yeah.
I'm
All right.
sure that's
Yes,
wrong.
exactly. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know what right,
right.
is, but I, know what
think
wrong
Mize-
is.
If it says apostrophe S, then it's...
No.
What does that mean? It's like
Yes, that's
Jacobs.
possessive.
Jacobs.
Yeah, you're making it
Yes.
is
possessive.
an S.
No,
So
no, it's not.
Jacob's cup.
It's not saying it's not your
Eyes
show.
cup.
That's
This
not
is
the issue.
Eyes
Yeah,
cup.
Whether or not it's possessive is not the.
There's
not the
eyes
thing.
in this cup. This is Eyes cup. Not your cup.
I'm
not his
so
cup.
upset. I'm just going to get into Ice car and drive away. Me so upset.
Yeah. Go to votejim.net so Eyes can get a trophy. Get Eyes a trophy, please. And Eyes will put a bumper sticker on my car that Jacob is now putting up. Oh, that is how I get murdered.
That's yeah.
That is a cause of death. I think that is probably the fastest way to get
I
murdered.
really hope this award is worth it.
So the
Go ahead, Jim. Explain what this license.
No, Jim,
Oh.
I have an interest in this show. Do
yeah,
not read
I'm
that.
not going to read that. It is not good.
There's a car running over protesters, and it says nobody cares about your protest.
Yeah, all
In a
lives
way.
splatter. That's what it says.
I was going to leave that part out. You
All
went ahead and said it
right,
on the
Jim,
show.
it's worth it. Get a trophy, Jim. Get a trophy. Go to votejim.net. Vote for me every device, every day, so that I can be the best of Las Vegas and then tell people that I am. And apparently, I will also put a bumper sticker on my car, which will be voted upon by the community that votes for me. Oh, I'm done. All right. If you became a THERAPAL, THERAPOD, THERADACTYL, or THERAPRODUCER ex officio since we last did the episode, we're recording this one in the past, so we'll get you next time, and we'll also thank all of our supporters in the next episode, because that'll be the first episode of October, and hopefully we will be announcing that I am the best therapist of Las Vegas, and we'll have all of my powers, and we'll be announcing what freaking bumper sticker I'm
are
gonna have on my
you
car.
under the impression that you get some kind of power with this?
Yeah, that's the best of Las Vegas. Oh, Jesus. All right. Oh.
Okay.
I'm not reading that
Nope.
one.
Don't read
Oh,
that one.
my God. All right. Yeah, I'm sad that I even saw that. I need eye bleach to get that out of me now. Thank you to our
I will also go ahead and
THERAPRODUCERs.
volunteer everybody who wants Jim to get a bumper sticker, but you don't want to take the time to research it, nominate one, do all that. You can just vote that Jacob gets to select the bumper sticker.
You can give yours to Jacob. Yeah, there could be a substantial amount of people that just defer.
Jacob can be your proxy.
Yeah, he's my pitch hitter on this one. Smitty Scoop, Jake Schneider, Robert Brownie Jr. Mint, Kayla Lansbury, Ellie O'Dare, Judy Schneider, Nathan's Hot Dog Scoop, Dr. Ben Dawn, and ex officio board member Crazy Banana Scoop. By the way, if you want your name added to that list, sign up as a THERAPRODUCER. You won't get your little commercial break, but you will be mentioned at the end of every show, just as ex officio board member Crazy Banana Scoop is. So if you'd like that, go be a THERAPRODUCER level of giving at patreon.com/therapy, and we will mention you every single show. If you'd like to hear this episode uncut and unedited and enjoy our spontaneous side projects, go to patreon.com/therapy. Thank you all for supporting mental health. That's all the time that we have for this week's session. We want to thank our landlords, the Ice Cream Social Oh, God, these are so bad. It's scary how many... remember, pod therapy isn't something you should keep all to yourself. Share this episode with someone who needs it by opening this episode in your podcast app and copying and pasting that link we gave you for somebody who would like it. Don't forget, you can follow us at facebook.com/podtherapy, on Twitter at PodTherapyGuys, and at patreon.com/therapy.
Do you want to submit a question to the show? Ask anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. I'm Nick Tangent.
I might be the best therapist in Las Vegas. Tune in next week to find out.
Thanks, and we'll see you for your appointment next week.